hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Sit and Spin with me, your host, Joe Royland. A lot of you folks really dug the episode on the Struts last week, which is great to see. Always happy to turn people onto some new music. Today, it's going to be something a little bit more classic, but if you dug the sound of that record, you might dig this as well. You know, last weekend was April Fool's Day on Friday, which to a lot of people may not necessarily be a fun day, especially if you're having pranks played on you. But for me, any day when my all-time favorite band in the world puts out a new record is a good day for me, and that was Cheap Trick. You could see maybe from the shirt was a hint. And their new album, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello, which came out on April 1st, which, in the band's native Illinois, is officially Cheap Trick Day. Formed in Rockford, Illinois back in 1973, the group's classic lineup solidified in 1974 with guitarist Rick Nielsen, bassist Tom Peterson, singer to guitarist Robin Zander, my favorite singer in the world ever, and drummer Bunny Carlos. Although since 2010, that seat has been filled by Rick's son Dax Nielsen on drums. Bunny is still officially a member of the band, but he no longer tours or performs with the group. That's a whole story I'm not going to get into. And over the years, they've had some different bass players that have come in and out of the band, people like John Brandt, Pete Comita, when Tom Peterson took off for a while. But the classic lineup of Cheap Trick is always the best. The group are set to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this very evening that this episode is going to air, and it's long, long overdue. Bang Zoom Crazy Hello is the group's 17th studio album, and their first without Bunny, their first with Dax, and also their first on the Big Machine Records label, home to Taylor Swift, among other people. It's the group's first studio album in 7 years, following their last album, the latest, from 2009, which was produced with Cheap Trick by Julian Raymond, this album that is, as were the group's past few records. And Raymond also contributes quite a bit of songwriting to this record here too. Overall, the album's been receiving generally glowing reviews, and myself personally, I would say it's the band's most concise and consistent outing in some time, and their most rockin' as well. Tight production, great sound overall, and the record right out of the gate gets off to a rockin' opening cut with some feedback drenched on the beginning and Heart on the Line, a song that was co-written by Greg Giuffria, who you may remember from Angel, Giuffria, and House of Lords. And it's a charging number in the best tradition of album openers from the band. After that is the album's first single, No Direction Home, which you're hearing right now, which is a bit more mid-tempo, but no less a solid slice of prime Cheap Trick pop, with a great hook-filled chorus and a very cool phased bridge section. Following that, which you're going to hear, sure, in the rest of this little story we're doing, is the group's current single, the moodier and as close as you're going to get, along with one other track on this album, to a ballad on this record, and that's the song When I Wake Up Tomorrow, which is, again, just another great cut and one of my favorites on this album, and I can very much relate to the chorus of that song too right now. After that, it's right back to the harder edge with the stuttering Do You Believe in Me, which harkens back to the group's darker, more twisted sound, and with some prime yelps from Robin Zander and some ferocious six-string shredding from Rick Nielsen, who is just on fire on this record. I can't remember the last time Rick has tore it up as much as he does on this album. It's great to hear him back and form again. From there, the album shifts gears somewhat to the kind of glam-based roots of the group, with the Slade-styled sing-along number Blood Red Lips, complete with hand claps and foot-stomping goodness galore. And when I say glam-style origins of the group took its name after seeing Slade live in concert and saying, wow, those guys used every cheap trick in the book, and that's where the name came from, and they stuck. From there, the album shifts back into a slower pace again with Sing My Blues Away, which, along with When I Wake Up Tomorrow, as I said before, is like about the only song here that is remotely close to a ballad. And if there's one thing this record is missing, it's a just standout ballad that's like for sure a ballad. But, you know, that's okay. A lot of people tend to like the more rockin' side of the band and, you know, weren't as much fans of songs like The Flame, even though that was written by outside writers. But this track is a sweet slice of writing with pop-style, trick style, with great harmony vocals in the chorus, and great tune by the band. After that, Roll Me takes the band back in a more driving direction, with the more growly side of Robin Zander's vocals again, and even more frenetic guitar playing from Rick Nielsen. After that, we have the group's cover of the song The In Crowd, a number made famous by Dobie Gray back in the day, although its Cheap Trick's take on it here tends to hold closer to the Brian Ferry version, and suits the band better as far as their style and stuff. One thing that's cool about Trick is, for the most part, when they tend to cover a song, it's something a bit more obscure, instead of like the more obvious things like when they did Don't Be Cruel on Lap of Luxury. Usually it's cooler when they do something like this. After that, we have the song Long Time No See Ya, which may start off with a syncopated synth riff, but it quickly turns into another just full-on rocker from the band, showing the harder edge of the group. But that's quickly back to the pop style, Beatlesque The Sun Never Sets, which follows it, which again features a great chorus offset between the heavenly backing vocals and Xander's snarling leads. The song also highlights Tom Peterson's bass work, again, like another one of my favorite bass players out there, which really shines on the song, as does Dax's drumming, which on the bridge section of the song really highlighted. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, Dax is no bunny, Dax is no bunny, but, you know, were these the same people who were, you know, crying foul after when Tom was not in the band? I don't really remember hearing everybody bitch, oh, John Brandon's no Tom Peterson, no, Pete Peters no Tom Peterson, but you know what? Dax gets the job done, and rather well, and having seen in not so recent years, you know, 5 or 6 years back, I got to see the last tour with Bunny and the first tour with Dax, and Dax has lit a fire under this group that has been seriously missing. They are able to play longer sets, they've been digging out older songs that they haven't played forever, if at all, live before. And it's just great seeing them being revitalized, re-energized, and it definitely shows on this record. And finishing out the album, again, the band goes back a bit to more glam-style roots with a very T-Rex influence, All Strung Out, which features some great, cleverly humorous lyrics and the best Rick Nielsen style. And this is a song I could also very much hear Alice Cooper doing, because the humor in the lyrics is very much up his alley, and just Xander's delivery kind of reminds me of the way Alice Cooper would sing something. So maybe someday he'll cover it. That would be cool. The guys are friends after all. But overall, great to have new music again from Cheap Trick with their new album, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello. It's out now. Go out and get it. So glad again to see them finally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that is our show for this evening. Thanks for tuning in. Stick with us in the coming weeks, because we got more great music, both from new and classic artists for you. And we will catch you next time on Sit and Spin. This is running long, so we'll see you later. Take it easy.